afternoon. Welcome again. I'm Marty Ohlhaut, and this is my daughter,
Grace Ly.
authors of 10 for 7, which will be hitting the shelves here pretty soon.
Very
in the next
soon.
few days. We've had a couple of questions in the last couple of days about places that we have camped. And like favorite places and maybe least favorite places. We thought we'd focus maybe on
Our favorite
a couple
places.
of favorite places today, and just tell you what our reaction has been.
Yeah.
You want to go first? Yeah.
I'll go first. It was a place that I always knew as Buster Butt Falls, but I am not sure that was the real name, and I don't
Well.
even know where that name came from actually.
Well, we think the real name, it's a place called Horse Pasture Falls. And I think maybe it's Horseshoe Falls where the actual falls are up in North Carolina. But tell them why they call it Buster
this
Butt.
I think it's ironic for those of you who've been paying attention or who know me. You know that I love horses. So I think it's kind of ironic that my favorite place would be called Pasture Falls
no
or
horses there.
Horseshoe Falls. But it's not because of the name. It's because there was a huge waterfall, and at the bottom, the waterfall dropped 15 or 20 feet, you think?
Yeah.
And you could slide down the waterfall, and then it was like a rock ledge. So you could slide down the rock, and then it just dropped. The waterfall started, and you dropped about 15 feet into this huge pool of water. And the other really cool thing, at the top of the waterfall, there was, I'm not even making this up. I don't know how it got there, but there was a man-sized hole. So, I mean, it was like this big around, and it was probably at least 5 feet deep.
Yeah.
So there was room for only one person, but you could slide into the hole, and the water would run on top of you, and you could sink down and kind of lean your head back, and it looks like you've disappeared into this hole. And it was a really cool
You did
hole.
want to be taller than 5 feet when you got in that hole, though.
Yeah, otherwise you'd probably drown in there. But that was a really cool part. Sliding off and then dropping into the water was really cool. And then on the other side
The cliffs.
was a cliff that was, I think that must have been 20 feet high. So you could climb up on the other side and then jump 20 feet into the water. So that place had a lot of really cool things you could do at it. But there was a big pool of water, and then it kind of narrowed down, and you had to grab onto a rope to climb back up, and not that much further downstream, maybe 50 feet, I don't know, not that far, but maybe 50 feet down the stream was an enormous waterfall that you do not want to go over, or that would be the last waterfall you ever went over.
Now, the good news is hardly anybody ever went over that waterfall, but it would be just a one-timer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did need to be a little bit careful. But that was by far my favorite place to go. Oh, and the other thing about that, you could stand underneath the waterfall too. Yeah. So you could slide off, then you could swim under the waterfall, and there was another ledge that you could stand on, and the water would you could just stand behind the waterfall. So that place, I mean, with the hole, the slide, going underneath the waterfall, and jumping off the cliff, I mean, you could spend the entire day there. It was very hidden. I mean, there was no trailhead, there was no sign. I don't even know how we found out about it, honestly. And if I were to go try to find it today, I would have no clue where to even go, which is unfortunate because I'd love to go back there.
We'll go back there someday. Well,
what was your favorite
won't let me
place?
go back. But,
that's a little dangerous.
earlier on, I did some camping, some backpacking in Colorado, and we actually took a trip to Long's Peak one year, and we couldn't get up on our first ascent because of a snowstorm, and we diverted around to what we thought was a much smaller mountain, Mount Alice. It's kind of back around a little to the south of Long's Peak, and it turned out to be fabulous. We backpacked up there. We spent about 3 nights up in a pretty high mountains. I guess we were up around 12,000 feet. And I guess maybe because we weren't expecting it, we were disappointed because we couldn't get on top of Long's Peak. And it turned out it was just absolutely gorgeous. A couple days up there. There was snow everywhere. Didn't snow on us though. Just as beautiful as it could be. And we had great campsites by some pristine little little waterfalls. And then on our last day, we hiked back down, and we actually were able to get up and down Longs Peak in one day, a long day. So we got the thrill of getting to the top of Longs Peak and a couple of great days at Mount Alice. So that was one of my most favorable.
Favorite and memorable.
That's when you combine the two. Or memorable well, yeah.
That was his most favorable experience.
Should write a book.
Oh man, our writing is much better than our dialogue, our speaking.
Well,
we hope so. You be the judge. Read the book and let us know what you think.
All right.
Thank you for joining us again, and we'll see you next weekend.
Thank you.